Good evening, folks. This is Deb Delapiana, and this is your short take. You know, I almost did this as a shut the fuck up, but then I decided that this is a serious topic, and it's serious enough for me to spend some minutes on it here. I want to weigh in just for a few minutes on the conflict between let's just call it a war, between Israel and Palestine at this point, Hamas. Because, as you would expect, a soulless pack of cretins who can only think of themselves politically and maintaining their political power could possibly use what Hamas did to Israel a couple days ago as a political football. But that is exactly what the GOP is doing. And so when people ask you how low can the GOP go, we've just hit, in my opinion, they just answered the question for you. They hit the bottom of the barrel on this one. So this is where it all started for me. I'm just gonna see if I can find this, first of all, easily so I can read this to you. And as you know, we have a presidential election going on, and Tim Scott is, of course, running, and I don't really know where he's going to go, but I can promise you he's not going to be the nominee, and I can tell you I'm going to say flat out this guy's an Uncle Tom. But this was his tweet after this vile event, okay? Biden's weakness invited the attack. Biden's negotiation funded the attack. Biden's administration wanted Israel to stand down after the attack. At this point, Biden is complicit. Every single line of bullshit out of his mouth was a lie in all of that. Joe Biden did not cause this problem. The conflict between Israel and the Palestinians, Arabs and the Palestinians, has been going on for decades. It has been going on for decades. And the fact of the matter is this: both sides are steeped in their religious beliefs, okay? That's part of this. I'm going to tell you that neither side supports a two-state solution. Hamas opposes the Israelis. The Israelis oppose the Palestinians and the Arabs. Neither one of them thinks the other side should exist. It's kind of hard. It's kind of hard to not expect that this to be a flashpoint every once in a while. It's vile and it's disgusting. Okay, there are reports that children, toddlers, have been beheaded by Hamas. There are 1,200 Israelis dead. There are at least 24 Americans dead from this. Now, I'm going to tell you something. When it comes to what the Israelis are doing in Palestine, in Gaza, it's disgusting. Okay, there is no reason for any of this. Okay, but it shouldn't be surprising to anyone that at some point there isn't going to be retaliation. But what Hamas just did was just over the top for me. Okay, I support the state of Israel. I support the Israeli people. The problem with what's going on in Gaza is not the Israeli people. It's the hardliners in the Israeli government led by Benjamin Netanyahu. Okay, that's the first thing. And what happened today or the other day with Hamas, what they did in Israel, is not the people who live in Gaza. It's the problem with the Hamas, with the group Hamas itself, or whatever the government is that they call themselves. They're causing the problem. And the problem you're having now is, guess what? Hamas just added to the misery on the Gaza Strip, because Israel will pound them mercilessly for what they did. And if you expect Israel to stand down, they're not going to. And if you expect the United States to not support Israel, you're a fool. They are going to. There are also reports of American hostages right now. So let's cut the shit about who is responsible for this war. Who's responsible for this war is Israel and the Arabs in Palestine. That's who's responsible. Nobody else is responsible for this war. This has been going on since time immemorial. Go back. I don't know. How far do you want to go back? They were trying to negotiate a two-state solution under Jimmy Carter. And it goes back even further than that. This conflict is ages old. It's as old as freaking Job, for Christ's sake. Okay? They tried the two-state solution. They tried that. They assassinated Anwar Sadat as he tried to help that event along, and everything fell apart. They never went back to it. Neither side can come to terms with it. I don't know what the answer is, okay? I don't know how you can get two sides to live in peace when one thinks the other side shouldn't exist. Israel believes that the Lord gave them all of that territory. The Arabs, they want to reign over all of it, including Israel. This is just the way it is. Do I think we should try renegotiating? I do. I think they need to sit down. We need to push this. I think we need a coalition of countries to push this. But barring that, I'm not sure how you stop this. All I know is that instead of coming to the table, instead of condemning this whole event and then just stopping and shutting up and trying to act like a freaking decent human being and a public servant who's concerned with what goes on in the world, then you start posting whose fault it is and what kind of bullshit do you have? You've got nothing. None of that is true, that Tim Scott post. That is bullshit, and that is so typical of anything that appears on X or Twitter or whatever you want to call it. And then people talk about Biden's perceived weakness. I'll tell you where we're weak. Tommy Tuberville, in the middle of all of this, has still refused to stop his blockade on military appointments. And one of those appointments is an ambassador to Israel. The Senate's going to try to go around him next week. We have one pissy little man from a teeny little fucking southern state holding the entire fucking appointment situation hostage. Is that fucking normal to you? It isn't normal to me. We have over 300 military appointments that are open because he will not do his job. Why? Because we won't take abortion out of the NDAA bill. Because we care about the people we're sending out to fight. I'm tired of all of this bullshit. I'm tired of the right-wing lies. I'm tired of the right-wing propaganda, and I'm tired of listening to them talk. So, God damn it, every Democratic voter needs to be out next November. Let's get rid of these cretins, and let's get this country back and make something out of it. I'll talk to you all later.